Still top of the league. Come on. Oh man, it's a nice breath of fresh air, isn't it? Being able to go to a away team who have been in decent form, I think, recently, kind of maybe not, and just to get even just a 1-0 win, it's just great. It's a nice sigh of relief. And here we are, Cardiff City World. I'm your host, Evan James, going solo again. So please do bear with me. I'm not the best with my bit of stutter, but we do our best around here. I'm just sort of relieved to get through now. Back-to-back wins. And again, against two decent sides, well, more than decent sides who would probably be looking to beat us. And, a lot of teams to predict that we would lose to. But yeah, we didn't. And I just want to give you a quick word, first of all, guys, before we get back into the show. If you haven't already, now is literally the best time to become a Cardiff City World member, because honestly, the next 7 days are absolutely stacked for like the exclusively for members. Can't even speak. So we've got exclusive interviews coming our way. So former boss Dave Jones is the first one from Sky Sports. Very own Bryn Law and incredible Sean Morrison event, part 1, and loads more to come as well. They're all being released across Christmas, but the members do get them first. So there's a massive incentive. If you are already a member, you get access to these shows a lot sooner than everyone else does. And that's literally just a start, because as a Cardiff City World member, you get early access to the live event tickets, early access to all our biggest videos, and our growing library of members and new content. So trust me, 2026 is gonna be off to a flying start. And we're taking inside the EFL on the road, all over the country, all over the league, bringing you more behind the scenes access than ever before. And again, like I say, members will see it first always. And remember, all of this sits on top of the Bluebirds content that you already get for free, by the way. So every single day of the year, 365 days, literally no breaks, no off season, like as much as sometimes I do struggle, like we graft to make sure that we get content out every single day, oftentimes multiple days, multiple times in a day. And it's all powered by Ace Nation Media and Cardiff City World. So if that's not enough, we've also got all new live events, brand new shows on Ace Podcast Nation, and the full hard launch of Football World coming in January 2026. So a lot of exciting stuff. This is where we say dare to be different, because it's not just a slogan, right? And we're doing things that generally help us set us apart from other independent football channels. So there's not many channels like Cardiff City World. And I know I can be biased because it's Cardiff, right? And it's us. But generally, how many other channels do you see do the same thing on the scale that we do it as? Usually get people, and this is not to sort of to shame other people, but the team that we got here as well. Side does an absolute wonderful job with this, and recruiting very slowly as well to make sure you're getting the best of the best. But honestly, hopefully change the game for what's possible, and you're self-funded and completely fan-driven. It's literally I could just sort of polish it even more. So if you want to support what we're building, which would be really, really beneficial for both of us, help us keep Cardiff City World running 7 days a week and get a ton of exclusive content while you're at it. So if you haven't already, and I say it all the time, this is my last sort of thing saying for this show, saying become a member today, literally the price of a cup of coffee, if not less. And it genuinely means the world to us. It's nice that we can get a bit of money from this. Obviously, I don't get the money for it, but it's nice to have that funding a little bit on the side, and to know that this channel is growing. And it just lets us keep talking about, the club that we all love. Because, there's a few other channels, obviously, but we want to be the number one. We're competitive like that, and I will say that. So publishing content every single day of the week, 365 days a year. And yeah, thanks for that. But just listen to that, because I just want to show appreciation and show we have so much more content packed through for the days to come, especially over Christmas. And now back to the show. So nice to see, first of all. I say good evening to everyone. I hope we get a few more comments tonight. It'd be lovely to go through some stuff. Evening, Evan, and all. Thought Stevenage were awful last night. Offered nothing but shapeless physically and zero style. They were chasing shadows all night, and we all played the football. We played all the football. Hashtag straight back up. Let's go. Let's get that trend in. McCain Chazira says, nice LED ceiling lights. Yeah, they're not the best, right? I'm not sure how much difference they make. It's just a little bit more flavor to it. I'm not sure if you can see. Recently, early Christmas present from my parents. Shout out to them. They got me this Cardiff City, well, it's not Cardiff City World, but it's Cardiff City Football Club banner, and there's like it's like a 3D looking kind of I don't know what you call it, wall art, is it? I guess, but it's obviously of the club. The only shame is that it's got a bit of red on it, but I'm sure you lads will be fine as long as I don't change the LED light strips to red. Like I accidentally did once. I shall not dwell on that moment again. But yeah, so honestly, like I had a few upgrades myself. I start using my camera as well now instead of just relying on my crappy like webcam on my iMac. It's literally just dependent on the internet speeds, so it's always like potato quality. But yeah, thank you for that. Jumpers for goalposts, evening by the way. By the way, 3-0 win Saturday. Champions elect, give us the title now. Look, the thing is, right, I watch like a lot of other enough football pundits, but football fan channels on YouTube, right? Let me center myself a second. I'm off the side a lot. I don't know why. Callum Fowler, I'm a big fan of, I will say. And up until this point, he hasn't really rated Cardiff, saying that we're not good enough, whatever. And you know what? Part of me is like, oh, I wish he just knew. But like at the same time, thinking, good, I want people to doubt us because we just keep proving them wrong. And I go back to even the Aston Villa game that we played in the cup. Was that Carabao or was that FA Cup? I can't remember this point now. But we had a decent cup run last season somehow, and that's when we played Dylan Lawler. And it shows how little like the pundits and everyone knows about Cardiff City as a football club and just like a fan base and culture and everything. They know next to nothing about us, but yet sort of they're acting like, I mean, to be fair, Horvath had a really good match, probably deservedly man of the match as well for the saves he pulled off. It's a shame it's not working that well at Wednesday at the moment. I think Wednesday down regardless of, how he performs. But look, I mean, we got people commenting on like Cardiff players as if they've known them for ages, and it's almost always the wrong players that they comment on saying, oh, they're amazing or whatever. And last season we were dire. I mean, I don't need to sort of mention that much more for us all to agree on. But I know we're playing a league below, right, this season, but the difference in the mentality, the difference in the team spirit, the culture of the club, the philosophy, and everything that BBM has brought through is paying off now, and I feel like it's clicking. And I will go into the games a bit more. I didn't see the Stevenage game. I saw the highlights. All I have to go off. But from what I heard, it was two very good defensive teams, and Robinson Worldy at the end. My God. And I just hope that means he's going to go through another patch of just scoring loads of goals now. It'd be really helpful. Hopefully consistently, but it's a lot to ask. But say on that point of being in League One especially, it's not like that simple just to go down a league and come back up. My biggest fear this season was that we were going to appoint another manager who had a proven track record of getting promotions. And I'm pretty sure that was the plan for Tan, Tan's plan. I just laugh because it's just alliteration in a way or rhymes. But I genuinely think that Tan got this appointment spot on. And I got a feeling, allegedly, there were certain personnel who tried their best to sort of change his mind or go for someone else. Allegedly. All I can say. But no, I think that bit is obvious, really, isn't it? And I'm glad he stuck to his guns and went for BBM, who's a youth-focused coach. Because if I'm being honest, it's probably one of the smartest things to do. You look at the squad, right, and we've let how many players go? Like 10 or so players, maybe even more than that. And they were all aging, veterans. And yet we've barely signed anyone. Like we've had three signings so far? We've had Ollie Tanner get injured. We've had Eli King basically out for the entire season, which is a massive blow for us because I think he's probably one of the best passers at the football club, and it was starting to show. We've had injuries, we've had little niggles, we've had Chris Willock, as soon as he gains form, he gets injured as well. And it's just like, we signed Omari Kellerman then, who wasn't fit to start with, just recovering from injury. And now we've progressed him to get up to a full 90 minutes. Even then, still could probably be fitter. I mean, who else? We signed Gabriel Osho. He hasn't had the best of starts, but at the same time, it's like he's moving back into League One football, which is a lot. And then Nathan Trott, what can you say about him? I mean, we've had 3 signings, and only really one of them was, one of them's been permanent, and the other 2, Nathan Trott just took to it like a duck to water. Like, there's no sort of doubt about that. But honestly, it's just like how he's just so easily adapted. And a goalkeeper is not easy. Like to fill the boots, like goalkeeper, centre back, and striker, the three positions that I wouldn't want to like play. Well, I say that I was a striker when I played football before, but I played everywhere. I played left mid, left back. I first started testing midfield, and I could not do that. The one place I could was decent at was striker or even goalkeeper. And I tell you, I've been behind the sticks before, even just at like amateur level, like like when you're like under 16s, there's so much pressure, and to be switched on in goals for the entire 90 minutes plus more, and to think that you're not facing many shots. And to be fair, our team wasn't very good, so I was facing a lot of shots when I was in goals. But to think now that like even when we're winning 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1, whatever, to be still switched on like Nathan Trott is, to pull off these saves, because naturally you'll get more complacent. Naturally you will. And he's saved us so many points so far this season, and I'm really glad we got him. Promotion is the only way now. We have to get up so that we can keep him. But it's not just that; it goes bigger. It's like it's the reward of all the youngsters put in. Like the majority of our players are under 21 that are playing first team football. Half of them haven't even played first team football before, like had a good run of games. I mean, Dylan Lawler had one appearance in the cup. I think he might have played the last day. No, I think it's Rona Capaccio played in the last day, and Mafiko did as well. And it's like these kids, these kids have like barely played men's football, but yet they're doing it in League One. And look, I've said my bits and the frustrations I've had with other games. And I do sort of remind myself that they are kids, and they're younger than me, so it's going to be difficult. But to think that we can pull results together like this, we can get 1-0 wins away to Stevenage. We can win at home 3-2 against Huddersfield, who are a decent side, who always happen to be 8th in the league, no matter what happens. To dominate Mansfield 3-0, I still think we could have had a lot more. Like the cup, let's forget the Virtue Cup, right? It's all, oh God, excuse me. It's all like really, really young youngsters. That's the young youngsters who talk about them. And 3-1 away win, Northampton. Like that's the last 5 games, and it's thinking like, I'm seeing a lot of green there, and we're 4 points clear now. I've got to say there, 4 points clear and a game in hand. There's a lot of other teams that have got a game in hand. About half of the teams have caught up with all their games. The rest have got a game in hand. And to think that we got that game in hand now, I mean, Bradford have got it as well. Stockport, Bolton, and Stevenage have got 2. But if I'm being honest, what did I say? Stevenage would fall off. Yes, they've got a few games in hand, but they will fall off a bit. Yeah, so how far do we go back? I saw the first half of most of the Huddersfield game, really. And, it's already been talked about, but I just think it was so nice to see like that we were resilient and we just kept going for it, even though we conceded. I mean, Yusuf Salik now, we need to keep hold of him at all costs. And I think we will. There'll always be rumors about him going elsewhere, but the fact that he stayed, this time around, there's more confidence that he'll stay again, unless people are giving us like 20 mil for him. I don't see him going anywhere in the next couple of years. Can't say that for sure. Like no one can. But it is nice to see we got someone who is getting goals almost every other game now. And then we come to the Stevenage game where, again, I got off the highlights. It looked like 2 teams with very little chances overall, but at the end of the day, like Stevenage had 2 chances, neither were on target, and it was written all over that game that we were to lose that one because of how things would go. Like the team with barely chances and would score one of theirs, but I think we had like very few chances as well. Facts, it doesn't really say properly there. Oh, it does, yeah. Oh no, we had total shots, 11 shots, big chances 1, and we scored off that one big chance. Ball possession 66%. I'm not too fussed about that, but it's quite a lot. We are possession freaks, aren't we? But I just see a lot of yellow cards for their team. Callum Chambers with the thing of beauty, and sometimes you just need that. Like it just. You're grinding through the whole game and you feel like nothing's going to come, and then you just get that, which it pays off because we need some luck. To be fair, we've had so much go against us with refs, and it's exhausting. But I see you lovely people got your comments in here. Again, because it's a solo show and I am absolutely knackered, I might not last the full hour. Hey. Sorry, I was reading appropriately, but no, I might not last the whole hour, but we'll see how we go. Cover that and Brad on screen. Don't want to get any copyright strikes or anything, just in case. Let's have a look who's in tonight. Let's see. Willock was poor last night. Chambers was good, but not as good as Fish and Bacon. I think Fish and Bacon are very, very consistent duo, aren't they? And I think Fish probably is a lot more settled with Bacon next to him. Not that they have many other options, but I think the one time where you put Mafiko there, and Mafiko is not a left back by any means. I know he's done a job there, but if I'm being honest, he's got too much energy and to be put a left back, he should be in the midfield as his normal position is. A defensive midfielder, almost like Siopis, but I think you're still relying on Bacon to be fit. I don't know. I think they're both crucial players for the team now, and I just hope that we don't get any injury blows with them. But at least with the centre back position, you've got cover, you've got Chambers, you've got Gabriel Osho. Again, I think he's been no, I don't think you do actually, because he's fractured his toe or something. I'm not sure about Willock. I think Willock's a bit hit and miss again. I mean, to think that he's had the form he's had last season and turn that around. I do apologise again. Sorry, this is why I do it 8 o'clock and not 9 o'clock for most shows, especially when I'm on my own. I've got to get up 10 to 6. I got to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Not even that. So yes, Jonathan Mordecai says top of the league. Indeed, top of the league. I worry for Newport. I hope they can stay up. Yeah, I do actually hope they stay up. I don't want them to go down to National League, but if I'm being honest, I don't see a lot of change in there right now. I'm not sure. They got that? Is it Christian Fuchs in charge now? I'm pretty sure he is, because he was a caretaker manager for a bit. I hope Newport stay up. I wish obviously we beat them, but I don't wish any bad against them, because we do loan a couple of our youngsters out to them sometimes, and I think it's great experience for them. I just don't think they're gonna have the. I just genuinely think they're one of the poorest clubs in the EFL. And I'm not saying money is everything, but I don't know how many more Cardiff players can you loan. But I mean, honestly, I think it would be great for them if we could send possibly, I don't know, Will Spears. Maybe you keep now, I think. But let's have a think. I think Mafiko would really benefit from going on loan to Newport. Maybe I think he's almost there, but I just think he's in that middle stage between being ready, not being ready. I think he's very raw still. Just till the end of the season, Mafiko. And again, it doesn't have to be like an extravagant club. He doesn't have to play tons of games. He just has to get used to playing men's football. Another one, Troy Perrott. I mean, I think he's just ready to play now. I keep saying that. And look, I'm glad that Turnbull's took a turn for the better now, thank God, because I was getting really worried about him. I still don't know whether he'll be here come January or next season. I don't know. But I just hope he continues the form he's going now, because he's looked a lot more sharper and a lot more forward thinking as well, forward passing. Robinson came on and straight away wanted the ball. Yeah, he always does seem fired up. See, it's just people don't find him a lot of times, and he does a lot of off-ball work, like dragging defenders out of their normal position and allowing other players to go forward. He does get frustrated when people don't pass him the ball, but he's used to getting in the middle of the park, and we usually put it out wide a lot, and it does frustrate me because when you put the ball out wide, you think, okay, you're going to cross it, but then we just do this wing rotation, and I get it, it's working, so I can't complain too much. But it isn't the most exciting thing to watch when you just got people on the wing passing between them. I get it, you want to do the Arsenal way and just sort of pass into the box, but championship teams, for the most part, they aren't going to let you do that, and sometimes a dangerous cross, or a good cross at least, it doesn't have to be at head height, it could be just bouncing on the floor. You don't know, you get a little connection on it, deflections, whatever, it will go in. Keepers make mistakes at all levels, whether it's Premier League or League Two, National League. Putting dangerous balls in the box like Louis Giles can do, like Will Spears can do. I mean, Bacon's done it already. I mean, the little floaters he does, I'm not usually a big fan of, but we scored off 2 of those. Like with Kapaku and like in the Huddersfield game. And it's Huddersfield. There's a Mansfield, I think. But yeah, we'll see where things go. Half-time Origins, evening, mate. We're only 5 points off what we achieved all of last season. Oh my god, that's crazy, isn't it? Great tenacity to grind out a win, really. Yeah, really hope we don't sell in Jan. Yeah, I think it's reference to Yusuf. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think any players are for sale in terms of the ones that are really shaking things up. I think it really would disrupt everything. I think Tam would know as well that you'd want to keep of all those players who are currently doing well. Because if it's not broken, why fix it? You know, like, and yeah, I know it's easier said than done because agents might want to stir up something. I don't know, but at the moment, promotion should be the only thing on our mind right now. Forget the cups and everything. Yes, it would be great, and you know we've got a Chelsea game to focus on as well. But you've got to think what's most important first, right? Don't kill yourself over the Chelsea game. By all means, give it your all and everything, but just bear in mind that the Christmas period enough is the grueling period. It's difficult. But hey, we're off to a flying start, I will say. Also now, we've won 4 games in our last 5. The one we lost, which was against Blackpool. Man, that feels like ages ago now, which it kind of was. The Blackpool game was such a disaster. Oh, yeah. But let's see what else we're saying. Oh my god, we've got quite a few comments. Guys, as well, like, you know, if you want your comments to be guaranteed to be read out, please make a super chat. Again, it's not a requirement, but it will guarantee that your chat gets read out, that your comment gets read out. So look, McCain says, Salas looks more confident and is making some sleek touches and passes. Yeah, he's finding his feet, isn't he, at League One? I think we were all sort of surprised how quick he sort of took the Championship football. But League One, again, different ball game. We can, you know, I could kill everyone to death by saying that term of like League One is so different. It is a lot more physical, but I think he's sort of figuring out like what he can get away with and what refs aren't just not going to call. I'm not saying he's diving for them. I'm saying he's not given anything, you know. I think he's learning to dribble a bit more, you know, be more in the build-up of the play sometimes, and other times he knows when to just be in the box waiting for the ball. We're getting better with the crossing. I think we're providing the service a lot more, and you can tell because we're getting the goals. I still think we can get even more from him because getting two goals in one game is exactly what we know he's capable of, possibly even more. Don't want to set the bar too high for him. Obviously, he's doing amazing now. Same with Robinson and Isaac Davis. The main thing is they all play a part in the team, no matter who sticks the ball in the back of the net. It's the fact that we're actually giving players in the box service finally. We still could be doing a lot more, but I think there's a balance that BBM's trying to achieve of like whipping the ball in the box mindlessly versus, you know, working its way in and drawing players out of their position. I think possession style football originally, like, it wasn't clicking because first of all we're new to it, but also just the fact that like you're playing possession football against counter-attacking teams, and counter-attack almost always wins in that scenario. But if you're very patient with it, even though it's almost paint drying at certain times, not so much now, but the first half of the Mansfield game was like paint drying for like good 30 minutes. But after you get past that and teams start to get impatient, and now that, you know, you look at the table, we're first, and players are starting to sort of show where they're going to be for the season now, albeit it's still fairly tight. You know, players are not just going to play out for draws against us now. Some teams, they're like, okay, we need a win. You know, I can see Rotherham losing 2-0 to Blackpool at home at the moment. And, you know, Blackpool's a team that's definitely going to need a big win because they play Lincoln afterwards. I think it's not far until we got Lincoln, I think. We got Doncaster next. But yeah, it's like teams now are starting to need wins. And then when they're already dying to get a win and then they play us, they get impatient, they lose their heads quicker. You know, we all know about the changing room sort of stuff of like murmurings going on about so-and-so's falling out with this guy and that guy. And look, we've seen it happen to us, but it's coming to a point now where teams are coming to play us, or we're going to play teams, and they need to get a result against us. And that's putting more pressure on them than it is us because they're making the mistakes then. And yeah, you don't wish it on anyone, but at the same time, you know, the game's a game and we're here to get promoted. So it's working in our favour a lot now. Let's have a look. Si was a scout for Cardiff City this time. He started mentioning it. Oh, yeah, mentioning BBM months before we signed him. Look, this is a really big conspiracy theory. I don't know how much involvement it's had. Look, I am aware that, you know, certain people potentially, allegedly at the club watch our content. I'm not sure how obvious that is to people. Because I mean, they're bound to. Come on, some of them are bound to. We're the biggest sort of Cardiff City World is the biggest football fan channel for this club, right? So players are bound to sort of like reach some of stuff social media. And I was really excited about BBM when Sai first mentioned the video a couple of years ago now, I think, and saying that, like, I genuinely shocked. I am so shocked to this day that we've actually got him. And look, he's not perfect. He's got his flaws, and I think he's still finding his feet himself. Like all the youngsters are, he's learning on the job as well. And you always are as a manager or a player. But he's someone who's very much familiar with developing youth players. And it was such a smart thing, and I give the board credit for this. It's such a smart thing for them to go, okay, well, we have a pretty thriving youth academy set up right now. We want to use that. So instead of just thinking, oh, let's go for a manager who's like tested and proven, we'll go for someone who's, probably not really tested and proven that much, but someone who knows how to work with youth players. And, it's worked really well so far. And I was a bit worried at first when we started the season because we were going on a nice run. Then we had a bit of a green patch, a red patch, let's say. And that's where my worries started coming a bit, thinking, oh, is BBM, thinking a bit too ambitiously? Is he trying to get us to play Man City football when we're not Man City? We don't have the Man City players. But look, I mean, with time, I see in this, and I feel like it's just about to click now. I think it has. I think the Mansfield game was a big eye-opener, but I think it was the Huddersfield game that really clicked for us to show that we could claw for a victory no matter, what happens, whether we concede or whatnot. But we come on to a very interesting game, Doncaster, on the 13th of December. So when's that? Wednesday? It is on the Saturday, yeah. This will be an interesting one because I don't think we played them yet. And Doncaster, I think they started pretty well, but they've recently dropped off a lot. Their form is very patchy. They don't seem to have a consistent run at all in the league, from what I can see. No, it doesn't look like at all. I look at their fixtures now. They're winning, losing, drawing all over the place. But their main thing is they are losing a lot of games. They're drawing, getting 0-0s, 1-1s. But this is a team we can definitely get at, and I have no doubt we can win. And there will be fatigue that sets in, albeit if we come away with a draw, I would still be happy because I can't say a draw at this point is dropping points because it's too much pressure to ask for a win every week. I know it'll be great, but I think just don't lose this game. And then we go the last 5 games unbeaten. And we're 4 games unbeaten, but that is a great title to have. And if we just go the next 5 games unbeaten, even if maybe lose 1 or 2 games during Christmas, it's generally not the end of the world because we've got, first of all, the game in hand. And again, I've never been this sort of like optimistic before, but like I'm starting to see things happen. And I was very pessimistic about possession football. But there was a podcast where I titled my thingy down here, Possession Football Done Right, because there's a way of playing it, and we don't have the Man City players yet. We might be building them and selling them over, maybe, I'm not sure. But I think it's important to know, like, where we are. We're in League One. There's going to be messy performances. Like, to get 1-0 away from Stevenage, that's like one of the best results you can get. It would be great if we had more goals, keep us on the edge of our seats. Obviously, Cardiff always do that. But I predicted we would win and draw against Stevenage. I can't remember which way around, but I did a podcast with Matt, and I just don't know. I don't see Stevenage holding on. I think they're strikerless at the moment. They have one decent forward, I'm pretty sure, but and they're good defensively. I will say that, but they don't have like the threat that we have in front of goal. They don't have the players that we have. I look at Luton now. Where Luton to? Luton Christ, where even are they? I can never find. Why is it? I can never find Luton in the table. Maybe because it's that far down. Oh, they're 7th place, so they kind of maintained like around 6th, 7th place all this time. People were like betting on them to go straight back up, and they've got so much. Out of all the teams, I think it's between us and Luton. I've got like the most depth and the best quality players. Probably maybe Luton edge it in terms of senior players, but for us, youth focus, definitely us by a mile. And they were always going to be doubters for Cardiff, and I get that. But I'll admit, I'll say, look, I'll be very proud about this. I said Luton will not go straight back up, and there's a chance they will. They'll probably get through playoffs or something. But I say that I almost guarantee they're not getting 1st or 2nd because they will have a shock. Maybe they'll get back to back. Wait, sorry. back to back to back relegations, or however it is. They've experienced the highs and lows of lows, but yeah, it's not going great for them, is it? But oh well, that's a Luton problem. Sorry, um, sorry, Luton fans. No, again, I don't mean any mean things on other teams, but unless you're Swan, I guess. But if you're respectful, it's all right then. Let's move on. I'm rambling. I need to shut up. Let's have a look. Jumpers for goalposts. Really controlled. Great performance last night from everyone. Bacon, Chambers, and Fish were most outstanding for me. Again, I can't say in terms of the whole 90 plus minutes from. Again, I use FOTMob as my best friend. # not sponsored, but wouldn't be against, talk to Si about it maybe. Yeah, so we went with Robertson as well. That was interesting. Interesting to get your takes on Robertson as well, because he's kind of like come back to side. He's been really quiet. He's not done anything outrageous, but he's done his job, and he's kind of just kept his head down and done it. And I don't know, that's a good thing, right? But it's just, before I think it was clear that he was upset he weren't getting picked or started. I remember in the interview he did in the little sort of like preseason thing. What's the one thing you're looking forward to this season? And Robertson said starting games. I was like, oh dear, guy's not happy obviously. But he had that injury in one of the last preseason games, horrible. And then I basically served him at work then. And he seems like a nice guy anyway. But I think he's just quietly going about his business, and I'm sure he will grow into the team again. He's kind of had a bit of a reset, I think. I think that's what Osher's going to do, and unfortunately, I think he might be out a bit longer now. But luckily, we've got the cover of someone like Chambers. Chambers and Fish, I think is an all right duo. I still am a bit wary of Chambers and Lawler, because you've got basically two ball-playing defenders there, and typically you need a proper no-nonsense defender like Will Fish or even Joel Bagan can do that job, and then pair that with like the likes of a Dylan Lawler or a Chambers, where you have your more ball-playing defenders who can progress the ball, like try and needle the ball through the middle, or even step up when needed. I know Lawler more and more likes his runs up the middle, but you need someone like an Alex Robertson or a Ryan Wintle then to sit back as a number 6 and cover. And I got to say, credit to Turnbull and Wintle. They seem to work off each other really well now. And I'd never thought it'd be a pairing I would see that would work out, if I'm being honest. I was very much saying, Wintle and Turnbull wouldn't work. But it seems like it is now, so can't complain about that. But yeah, we're going through this really fast, aren't we? Let's have a look. Matthew, I can say Matthew Walshley then. Sorry, Matthew Ashley. Great result last night. Puts us 4 points clear and second now. A little bit of breathing space. Willock is an annoying case at the moment. Game changer. But so, yeah, that's the thing. Willock, right? I find he's one of those players that he's never getting out of first gear, or second gear, however the saying is. I don't want to say straight out he's lazy, but part of me thinks he never really goes 100%, whether he's worried to get injured or something, or I don't know, but he looks too calm. You know when someone looks too confident, too calm and relaxed, and you just a bit on edge about it. It's odd. I don't know. Look, I can't remember the last time he beat his man, because I don't think he's that kind of winger. I think he's more of an attacking midfielder, number 10, and he drifts in there a lot more. And he's so good at his dribbling. He very rarely loses the ball, but he hasn't got the pace to beat his man, and that's what worries me, because defenders figure him out so quick. At championship level anyway, they do. They show him the outside, keep him on his left foot, and he's just cutting back and forth inside and outside, and then sometimes he gets a nice cross off. But it's all really slow with him. Again, I think Willock's done all right. It's pretty good start of the season, and when he came back, he had a debut coming back for his goal. I don't know. I think there's more to come from him. I just think he slows the game down so much, and whether that's what BBM wants, but I just think he can offer a lot more in the middle as opposed to that wide, because he's got good balance. He's quite agile as well. I think he's just a bit wasted out on the wing, but hey, a lot of winning games, so it is what it is now. He's going to fight to keep his place. Alan Watkins, evening, mate. Maverick needs to go on loan to where he can play. Newport, beneficial to him, and he will impress Newport. Yeah, he'd be really good for Newport. I honestly think he'd probably be too good, but at the same time, I think some of his passing is a bit sort of like too powerful sometimes. Like you'll pass like to someone just next to him and he'd be really strong. And I think he needs to sort of like find his feet there and knowing his sort of intensity in his aggression. I think sometimes it is about like less is more and just clean up on L3 as a number 6, and he's just got bags of energy. I think he's just still getting used to when to use it and what for. But again, the kid's got talent, and he's been thrown out of position numerous times, played as a left back when he's not. Newport, I think, would be a great fit for him. Or even if he went to somewhere like, I don't know, Bristol Rovers or, like somewhere like that. I know Reindorf's at Newport at the moment. Not sure if he's setting the world alight, but I don't know. I think we all had high hopes for him because he was the only other striker at the club at the time, and we all saying like, "Oh, put Reindorf in." But yes, somewhere like that. Even if he goes National League, but if I'm being honest, he needs to play men's football. He needs to play, unless it's like a newly relegated National League team, like from the League Two. I can't remember who's got relegated, but yeah. So have a look. Matthew Ashley, also so good the way Chambers has reacted to being dropped earlier this season. He's actually started to excel when called upon. BBM had lined up spot on again, though, and the substitutes. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't say much for it, but Chambers and Willock are the two of just changing form, haven't they? Excuse me. And yeah, I hope we see more of Chambers. But the main thing is just that they're not running ridiculously way out position, and then there's no cover behind him, because I know Chambers likes to bring the ball a bit further forward as well, and I do quite fancy him in the number 6, but at the same time, he hasn't got the pace to get back. He hasn't got the pace to do the work that BBM would want him to do in the number 6. I think it's clear BBM made it clear at the start that he is a centre-back and nothing else, and possibly a right-back, but again, it's an issue of pace, isn't it? Right, we'll finish up the last few comments. Sorry, I'm just trying to hang on to you, trying to stay awake. Let's have a look. Martin Ryan, evening, mate. Robertson was really good. I can't see my face now. Robertson was really good last night. Trot went long more than usual. Robertson led the fight for the second ball. He put us on the front foot and controlled the tempo. Great to see him contributing. Yeah, I'm glad to hear, mate. And long may it continue, shall I say. Halftime oranges evening. Glenn Williams reported Cardiff have made contact over Swedish winger Kamil Jabara. I need to search this guy up. Jabara. I haven't heard of him, but he wasn't playing for was it Risk or Lisk or was the place that Salek come from? I look at his profile now quickly. So his name's Kamil Jabara. He's from Taibi. I never heard of that country, but citizenship is Swedish. So he plays for Elfsborg, or it went on loan there, I think. 27 appearances, 2 goals, 8 assists. Is that what it is? I'm not sure. What is he? What do you say? He's a winger, is he? Well, I think, yeah, Solly Tanner still be a while off yet. Wouldn't be against him. I mean, if he's got a bit of pace about him and can at least dribble the ball, unlike Murphy, cough. That would be interesting. Yeah, Swedish league seems to have a few gems. See a lot of players. I think it's Luton that sort of go to Scandinavia a lot to find some players. They go to Denmark and all that. And I think there's one of them for who's it for Stockport? They used to have him. I think it was Stockport. I can't remember what his name was now. But yeah, it's some talent in Scandinavia. I think it's underutilized because you can pick them up on the cheap a lot of times, and their leagues aren't as popular, are they? But might be worth looking at it. But we'll have to see. Again, we can all talk about it so far, but nothing concrete. Oh, I'm very sorry. Jabbar's another Scandinavian-based Palestinian. He is on loan at the moment. Presumably, he's available in January. Okay, I've seen a pattern here. Yeah, we'll have to see on me. But I just hope we go for a really direct, pacey winger who can take on their man. And if we're top come January, which I hope we are, and I'm positive we will be, it's only going to be really beneficial for us to splash a bit more cash in it. I'm not saying it's going to be permanent signings. I think it's going to be maybe one permanent and 1 or 2 loans again. I don't think you can risk adding too many. I think we need to add depth to our squad. I said loads of times, but I don't think you can risk adding too many players because you want the players with that hunger to continue into next season if we do get promoted, hopefully. Because the last thing I want to do is do a Wrexham where you get promoted back to back to back or whatever. You get promoted from League One to the Championship, and then what happens? You sign a bunch of players, right? I mean, Nottingham Forest did it to the Premier League, and they got away with it, and now they're benefiting a lot from it. So it's a big reward, but also a big risk. You sign so many players that you forget the identity of the squad, and that's what you don't want to do, because it's so important you keep that and you keep the culture that's currently there, because those are the players who had the hunger to show the fight, the discipline, the aggression, the willpower to chuck everything at it to get those wins. The last thing I want to do is add like another 5-6 players into the squad, integrate them straight away, who don't know if they're going to be there next season, who don't really fit into the system straight away. They need time. And then you expect the squad to just gel completely. I mean, you look at the season, a few seasons ago now, God, it feels like ages ago. And Sabri Lamucci, I mean, he didn't have much time with the club, and fair play, he kept us up probably by sheer luck in some ways. I mean, there was some incredible goals by Cedric Kipre and Sori Kaba, and if it weren't for those, we would have got relegated, and for Reading's 10-point deduction. But you look at like that season, we signed so many players, completely transformed our squad, and it almost ruined us. One of the few positives I think was Callum Robinson. I'm not sure if we signed Perry and Jean. I think it was a season before we signed. But our squad was almost completely new, and we almost got relegated because of that. I mean, it didn't help Steve Morrison getting sacked. But yeah, let's move on from that, because I'm not sure how I didn't really agree with his attitude as much as I did fancy him as a manager. Thought he was playing some decent football at the time. But we won't get into too many results. So we'll finish on some of these. Not sure Joel in the 10 role is working. Yeah, we're winning on top of League One. I think Joel's just there for the energy, isn't he? He's just got bags and bags of stamina. But at League One, it does the job. I think he can play that role. I think he's probably better as a number 6, a sweeping a number 6, than he is an attacking midfielder, only just. Because I feel like you could always rely on him being the physical sort of prowess at the back and the workhorse, knowing that like he can do it all. He's box to box. He can do it all pretty much at an okay level, at least. He's an all-rounder. You can chuck him anywhere in the squad. He's played right back. He's played centre mid, defensive midfield. I think at one point he even played centre back in pre-season, or I might be mistaken with someone else, but I know Eli King did. He's more or less played up front for Cheltenham at points, and it worked really well for him. So, it doesn't matter where you chuck him, he's going to give it 110%. And he does remind me of Callum Patterson, where you chuck him in anywhere, and he's really effective. Like, I think even Neil Warnock said he couldn't defend, but he's got, for Callum Patterson, he couldn't defend, but he's so physical, physical Scotsman. He's just got bags of energy. He just likes to be really aggressive. And look, I mean, worst case, you can chuck Joel Colwell as striker, see what happens. I mean, he's not going to stop running. That's the one thing. And he presses a lot as well. He does so much of the pressing, as well as his brother, Ruben, who sadly is injured, and Salak as well. Like, these players are working overtime for this. But yeah, so quick preview, like to Doncaster now. Get your predictions in, obviously in the comments now, but also after the live has ended as well, to make sure your comments stay up. It also helps with the YouTube algorithm to promote our channel as well, as much as possible. And, like I said before, it keeps us being able to do what we love doing. Doncaster, what do I see? Do I go realistic or do I go positive? I noticed the frame rate is dropping a little bit. I do apologise. I don't know. Stockport beats them 2-0 away. I don't think there's anything in Doncaster. Like, I don't look at any players. They got Charlie Crew on loan, so maybe him. That's not Billy Sharp, is it? It is. Billy Sharp is at Doncaster Rovers. What's the likelihood he's going to score against us now? McGrath, like, the defence looks very weak. Low Tutala. I think Charlie Crew is someone to look out for. I think Doncaster's a great loan move for him. I'm not sure if he went there before as well last season. I think the main thing is Billy Sharp. You look at them, I think he was at, what was he at? Sheffield United, I think, a couple of seasons ago. He's probably still got that in him to bag one against us. So I think that's the main threat, is just keeping him quiet. where that means we have to sort of like pass around the back and tire them out from pressing us. Who knows how Doncaster are going to come out? They got Ian Lawler as a keeper, not Dylan Lawler. There's only one Dylan Lawler. Oh God, what have I else got? Jack Senior, Ben Close, Harry Clifton. He's in the guy I recognise. Brandon Hanlon is a striker, quite pacey one, I think. And Damola Ajayi. I don't see any names in that squad that apart from Billy Sharp and maybe Charlie Crew they have to be worried about. I think they're probably a bit faster than us. I can't quite remember. Like they started well in the league, but dropped off a lot. And I just look at our last 11, and I just see there's way too much quality. And I look for against most teams, I'll say the same thing. There's way too much quality in our squad to be struggling really against the side of Doncaster, but that'll bite me on the back now. Don't worry. The main thing is that we just continue playing how we've been doing. Like, we've got a graph like every day is an away game, and that. Yeah, it's just sad, but it is really, isn't it? My brain is fried right now, so I'll end on the last comment here by Graham. Nice to see you as well, by the way. I was quick to moan that Lawler was dropped, but it was a right call. Chambers had a great game. Yeah, I think it's not so much about like it's the right or wrong call. I think that you got to rotate to a point, but at the same time, you need to know who your main sort of back two is. I think we pretty much know it's Lawler and Fish, but you're going to have to rotate at some point, I guess. Yeah, Billy Sharp's 39 years old. Is he going to want to be pressing all the time? I mean, like he's someone we can easily tire out. If we just keep him quiet for 60 minutes, he'll end up getting subbed off, and they bring on someone else, they bring on Hanlon or Ajayi, and they've got a lot more pace and youth about them. Not sure about Hanlon, but it's one of those, right, where it's the Kiefer Moore situation again of like you probably score against us. I don't know, I hate saying that, but it's bound to happen. The main thing is that if we go 1-0 down or we concede to equalise, that we just keep doing like we did against Huddersfield. I'm going to say, score predictions. Oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to say 4-1. I think we're going to give a team a good old wallop again. No, we did against Mansfield. And I think if Doncaster are worse than Mansfield, we're going to win by more. So 4-1, I reckon Billy Sharp will score their goal. And he'll get sent off for celebrating. So I know, I'm just making it up now. 4-1, Billy Sharp to score their goal. I reckon it's going to be Yusuf Salek, Callum Robinson's going to score. I say Callum Robinson get 2 goals. And then Alex Robertson to score another one. I don't know. It's all just gut feeling, But 4-1, I mean, Christ, might not even be anywhere near that. Could be literally 1-0 or 1-1 or 0-0. God, I think we've had many 0-0 draws. Was it? Oh, it was going to be the Bolton game, I think, and then we lost it right at the last moment. See if I can quickly look just to finish off. Fixtures. Can't see any yet. Oh my God, I don't think we have actually had any 0-0 draws. No, that was last season in West Brom. Port Vale is our only 0-0 draw so far, and to be fair, we should have lost that game, if I'm being honest. One of the offside goals is probably not offside. I think refs and linesmen tend to favour the away team a little bit. So yes, it's going to be a very fascinating game. I think I actually watch this one as well. Yeah, it's the 3 o'clock kickoff, so it'd be great to see that one. Not sure if I'm doing a post-match yet. We'll have to wait and see, but no doubt you'll hear me ramble on about it the next week. Yeah. Oh, God, last week gone. Evening, James, man of the match. MOT. I'm assuming man of the match is what you're trying to say there. Kept our striker from even getting a touch on the ball game. That's what we've got to do. We've got to do the same with Billy Sharp, who's 39 years old. They're not going to want to be pressing like loads of their age. I'm not saying they're too old to play, but 39 years old, most players retire around age 34, 35. I mean, fair play, he's going strong, but he's not going to have the pace or the stamina to be doing that all the time. They're going to be using him probably more as a target man, give it off to their wingers to score. Oh, this is ridiculous, honestly. Thoughts on knee sliding being a yellow card from January? Well, this is what we do, right? Every time we score now, we do a knee slide. Honestly, what is on? I don't understand. Right? If someone wants to do a knee slide celebration and risk getting injured, that's on them, right? If you know if you're playing on turf, 3G turf, right? Like I'm not sure if it's I think it's Stockport, they have artificial grass. I mean, all of it is artificial to a point, but they play on 3G or something. Like, if you know you're playing that, you just don't be silly with it. Like, and honestly, they shouldn't really be playing 3G anyway, because goalkeepers dive on that. It hurts. I've done it, especially when it's like baking hot outside, which it won't be for a while. But like, if you want players to stop doing the knee slide celebration, just let them continue doing it. Spat everything, and then if they hurt themselves, then it's fate. It's fate, right? Like, just let it happen. But there's people are so bored, like officials are so bored, they feel like they need to sort of exercise going like a power trip, like my old bosses. Like they just some of them just they do needed to have that little power trip where they assert dominance and let them know who's in charge. That's all it is. It's just talk. And again, if they do ban it, it probably is going to be in place, which is annoying. It's ridiculous. I mean, I get taking your shirt off for celebrating. I can understand that to a point, right? Maybe 90th minute sort of winner, you allow it. I don't know. It could be subjective at this point. But come on, honestly, the game's so gone. Honestly, you can't like do anything now. It's just getting so controlled now. I mean, you can't even celebrate your goals in the Championship or the Premier League anyway because of VAR, or I think it's just Premier League. So like, why are we trying to control the beautiful game even more now? It's not needed, honestly. But yeah, that's my opinion, Graham, on the sliding celebration being banned. It's just the most stupid thing ever. It's just let it happen. I've said my bit. Even a JT, Billy Sharp is a pensioner. Are we really scared of 40-year-old? I mean, like if he's playing, he's still good enough to score against us. That's how you got to see it. Obviously, it's not going great for them at the moment in the 19th. But we can't take anyone for granted. We have to play like every team is going to be at a high level, because teams need wins now. They need to sort of pull results together out of thin air, and we've just got to be the ones to crush their dreams, really. Camille Jabara looks like he's got some pace in him. I'll have to do some scouting about him because that looks good. But I'm not sure. Thank God, Iron is not playing. Is that one of their players? I'm not sure. I'm not with that. Sorry. Swedish League ended last month. He's out on loan anyway. We won't sign as he's not Tan's favourite. Free transfer. Well, hey, like, all I'm saying is that we will splash some cash if we're first at the January transfer window. I think even if we're second, we will still splash the cash. I think mainly on loans, but look, Tan's main objective is to get back to the Premier League. That'll be nice. Back to the Championship as soon as possible. Because if you think of it, right, I'm not sure how many more years he's going to want to be part of the club. But at some point, he's going to have to think of selling up, right? He's not getting any younger. Let's put it that way. So if he gets us back to the Championship, that just increases the club value, probably doubles it at this point, honestly. And B is the fact that it's just like, if you're stuck in League One for more than a season, you're probably not going to get back up there anytime soon. Look at Barnsley, Wigan, Rotherham. They're kind of up and down a bit. Who else? I can't name anyone else. We got teams in there. Plymouth, they haven't been. Well, no, not Plymouth, but like Wigan and Barnsley, Bolton, and the prime examples. The teams that used to be Championship level or higher, but they're hard stuck in League One, and that's like no coincidence or whatever. That's because the fire inside them has died, and they just come to terms with the fact that they're League One now. And obviously, it's not just because of that reason, but like this is what will happen to Cardiff if we don't, get some results together, then we will probably be in League One for a long time. But at the moment, it's looking pretty positive. But yeah, that's all I'll say for tonight. Again, thank you all guys for tuning in. It really helps with the comments getting in, because sometimes my mind just goes blank, and it's so nice to have everyone part of you sort of supporting the boys as always. It just makes my job easier, like come on these solo ones, and I have a lot of fun doing solo ones as much as I do with other hosts as well. I'm cool either way, however it pans out. And it's just, I guess the one big pro of going solo is that all the tension's on me, isn't it? But no, I'm honestly cool either way. But yeah, thanks for your support as well. Lovely to see loads of green names as members. I'm sure some of you as well, even though they're not green, you're a member from the Patreon. So yeah, guys, honestly, I've already said at the start, but loads of stuff, content to come over Christmas period. And again, early access to tickets as well, live events, if you do become a member. So please do. Thank you all for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all soon. Top of the league, 4 points.
This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans for fans. Balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.